Hey, you fucks, this is Everyone's Wrong. I'm Dave, aka the Great White North.
And I am Dustin Dark, the all-knowing Samoan.
And we actually made it.
We actually made it. We're not having technical difficulties this week, although I am going to adjust your frame here real quick. You know what name I'm not doing the joke names anymore. You know what name I almost gave myself, and I'll explain why, Dave.
Okay.
I almost went with that nigger Dustin. And let me
Oh my God.
let me explain why. Let me explain why.
Okay.
I've mentioned before that I dated a girl for a while with really racist family that would
Yep.
that told me I was too brown to date their daughter and such, and that's all very true. And we started seeing each other again, and she tells me a funny story. See, after her and I broke up, she starts dating this super white dude,
Okay.
and at first everything's great, and he joins a fucking motorcycle club, and there's some meth making, and things really spiral out of control. She said
Okay.
that one day her dad makes the statement, "I'd rather have that nigger Dustin back."
Oh my God.
So she regrets telling me this story, but I think it's awesome. I love
You
the
do,
fuck
eh?
out of it, Dave. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
first of all, you should have learned a lesson there, and you kind of did, but you don't want to admit it. It's
Yeah.
it's all very funny to me. How have you been the last month?
I've been cold actually lately.
Ah,
Surprisingly enough, my name is the Great White North. I live in
mm,
Canada. No, I came a little early this year. It's been cold. Yippers. I like had a bunch of things to say um, the last three times we fucking started, and I've lost them now because it's just been one bullshit attempt after another. For some reason, we just couldn't get our technical bugs
well,
set.
I lost my job, and this is so when I don't have like a steady schedule, I find it hard to do anything.
Hmm.
Because I'm just chafing the wind at that point. My sleeping schedule fucks up. I'm tired at all the wrong times, and which I start work the day after tomorrow at a new job, so that's thrilling.
Yeah, yeah. I bet.
It is. Which I think it'd be better. I'll probably end up, by the way, Dave, working a second or a third shift.
Okay.
Um, but I'll be off on the weekends. Every
All right.
weekend. So that's.
So the second or third shift is what, 3 to 11, 11 to 7?
Something like that within a
Yeah.
half hour, hour and a half
Okay.
of that. And
Yeah, yeah.
and if you work third, you actually start Sunday night. So as
Sunday
you're off
night and you're
Friday
done
or
Friday.
Saturday. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's awesome.
So that's I'll probably be doing that. I don't want to go too much into it, but I'll be making parts for luxury cars, and that's a nice industry to get into.
Yeah, yeah. Auto industry is awesome to get into,
As long as
especially
it
if you
doesn't
can get
crash.
into that. Yeah, as long as it doesn't crash, and if you can get into that union, oh man.
Yeah, there's not a big union in the South here with these
Okay.
plants,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's largely why they come here. They could have went to Chicago. They could have went to a lot of areas with a larger population or even more educated population, but they decide to come here because we have anti-union laws.
Mm,
So that's one of the things that brought them here in the first place. So a lot of these aren't
right on.
union, but they are still very competitive with each other. There's so many of them
Yeah.
that you still have a good free market competition going on there. It's complex enough work that you don't have a giant pool of people to do it as well. So
Hmm.
it's not that bad, man. It's
I'll
still
tell you.
the best job to have in town. Go ahead,
I'll tell you a funny story.
go on.
Last week we were shopping at our local Walmart, and I had beer. And only certain aisles sell beer because you have to have smart serve to sell beer. So I get in the aisle, and there's this Muslim girl at the till, and this old lady walks up behind her who works at Walmart and says to her, "Can you sell beer?" And I looked and I said, "This is the beer line." And she fucking put up in her hand in the stop motion to me and said in a really snarky voice, "I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her." And I said to her, I said, "Holy fuck, you're snotty, eh?" And
Did
she
you say?
like put her, I said, "Holy fuck, you're snotty, eh?" She puts her head down and starts humming, and whatever. I grab my change, I walk away. And Tracy was behind me with the kids, and she was buying some stuff of her own. And this woman didn't realize that we were together. And when I was out of earshot, the woman says, "And you can go fuck yourself." And fucking, so Tracy fucking loses it. That's my fucking husband. He wasn't saying anything to you that was out of line until you fucking put your hand up to him. Like, these are his children. You're going to tell him to go fuck himself? Maybe you shouldn't fucking do a job in customer service if you're going to be so fucking grumpy. And this is not like Tracy at all. She's usually very quiet. Anyway, so she went and talked to the fucking manager, because, like, even if I was shitty to her, it's your job. I'm sorry. It's the job you chose.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Look, I worked in that field for many, many, many years. She should be beyond fired. Like that, my Walmart will roast the 3 rudest people outside every month. Like it's you don't do that, man. That's no. It's their job to eat shit.
Yeah, but I wasn't giving her shit until she was snarky with me, right? She put her hand up in the stop motion and was just shitty. So I was like, fuck. You know what I mean?
No, I absolutely agree with you, but I'm going to say again, like, her job is to eat shit. Even if you were giving her shit, from her perspective, it does not matter. It does not matter. I did that job for 5 years. Never once did I ever give attitude like that to a customer.
Yeah, well, her response should have been, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'll serve you."
Yes.
That's what her.
If she can't, we'll call someone over to get your beer sitter. Yeah. And that is exactly what they do, because they'll put kids on that aisle too.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're just, or someone that's spraying you, then they'll have someone turn around from the other aisle and fucking hit the button for them. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what, but it was funny to see, and Tracy was fucking angry. I was like, oh well, Mama Bear protecting the family, and she was like really irate. This is his disabled son.
Oof.
You know what I mean?
I've never heard you actually say anything like that about Tracy, so I believe that's a very odd. Odd action.
Yeah, it was like I was actually surprised. So
that's crazy, man.
At least she was sticking up for me.
Fucking nuts.
Oh, cunt. She was pissed about it the whole day. Like, for like 5 hours later, she's like, "I don't know why that stupid woman is working there."
Well, did the Muslim girl check out alcohol? That's the question here.
No, though, I bought my shit from the old lady. The Muslim girl walked away, and the old lady, she did serve me, but she was a right cunt about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
She'll probably get fired.
Probably did. I haven't seen her since.
Yeah, good deal. Fair enough.
I've been there like 3 times since then, and I saw her before.
Yeah. Well, have you paid any attention to the MAGABomber, or as the left wing is calling him the MAGABomber and the right wing is calling him the UniBoomer?
Okay.
Which I'm pretty fond. I'm pretty fond of both. And his old picture here, I love it because it's so not the picture you see.
He's got a fucking pterodactyl dick between his legs there. Holy fuck!
I fucking see, man. He did well for himself. Native American, I think, Puerto Rican. They're lightening the skin on the media, which is just the dirtiest shit to me, Dave.
Yeah. So those pictures are lightened.
They are lightened. And for a more update picture, that's the guy now. I know that's terrible, but I find it hilarious, man. I really do. And these are the bombs that he sent. This is the one that he sent to CNN, Dave. I'm gonna enlarge this. Boop, take us out. But this guy right here, and none of them went off. And there's a fair argument been made that they were never meant to be harmful. That it was more of a scare.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me to follow too.
I think that's just that like the right is saying that for sure, right?
It's definitely the right wing saying that. If some people in the center are saying that, you know, to me it's not hard. The guy's crazy. Disavow. You don't have to make up these crazy conspiracy theories. One thing that I found really interesting over the last week as all this has unfolded, Dave, is, and I think this may hurt the Republicans in the midterms, but not in the way people think it will. I don't think that that reasonable people are going to sit there and say, well, I was gonna vote Trump, but this guy sent some bombs that didn't blow up. Some fucking loon that's made terrorist threats and this type of thing in the past.
Mhm.
What I think will push people to not probably pull the lever for the right next month is all the right wing people that had instant conspiracy theories about this with zero evidence from the
Sure,
word go.
sure.
Right up front, it's oh, Democrats are sending bombs to themselves, And my dad is one of these people saying it's easy
I
to
saw that. It's a
manipulate.
false flag.
Yeah, it's a false
Yeah.
flag. It's easy to manipulate the mentally ill, and that type of thing.
Hence the reason why me and your dad are not friends.
Have you have you seen the 4chan memes about the bombs being fake?
No, no, I haven't. I followed this story as much as I was like, holy fuck, you guys are fucking. You guys are crazy. That's his fault. Like I was like, I don't really care if the guy's right or left wing. I think political violence of all kinds and threats of violence of all kinds are nasty, and I'm having a real hard time with the way that you guys treat each other. Like
Fair
you get
enough.
you guys act or pretend like you're the most patriotic people on the planet, but patriotism, in my view, isn't the land. It's the people, the culture, your rights, your privileges, not the land. And as far as I can tell, the only thing that people are really patriotic to in the U.S. is the land and maybe the flag, because you certainly don't love each other. You hate each other, actually.
Yeah, we've always been a very divided country, and as we expanded and as we added more cultures, we slightly balkanized more. It's getting worse.
Sure, there was a time it wasn't like this, though.
Yeah, there was a time. Well, that's true, and there was also been times when it was a lot worse. Um,
Yes.
like a lot of it is demographic change in the United States. A lot of it to me is ideological poison. From our struggle with Russia, this whole idea of the successful must be oppressing the less successful.
Hmm.
You know, it's I don't know, man. It's like those
I would
signs
I
up
would
in New
say
York right
that.
now. Go on.
Mhm. I would say, and then you can make your point. I would say that right now, in my knowing lifetime, I'm not going to say like in my entire lifetime because I was born a long ass time ago
Mhm.
in the 70s. But in my knowing lifetime, so in my say, well, I'll say from like age 12 on, this is definitely the worst it's been.
I would agree with you, and looking back with a historical lens, it's better than it was in the '60s and the '70s.
Sure.
And of course, the '60s and the '70s were better than it was the century before that during the war and the
Yeah.
decades after.
Yeah.
So, I try to keep things in that perspective. But my whole thing with this show and my overall arcing narrative about what's going on with our political system is that we're in a downward spiral where this is going to get worse. Uh, you know, this very well could have been very serious bomb threats.
Yeah, and
These
if they
things
had
could
went
have went
off, if
off.
they went off,
Yeah,
like, could
yeah.
you imagine if they had killed Obama?
Yeah,
Like,
and
Jesus
and,
Christ.
and oh my god, no joke. And how about all this ricin that was sent to the White House and Trump
Yeah.
and several of his picks and part of his cabinet over the last what
Yeah.
was it last month, and that didn't make near as the stir because it's not as sensationalist as bombs are.
Yeah.
Um, but that's the exact same thing. You have some fucking maniac in our country is some maniacs
Hmm.
are really looking to push us into this downward spiral, and you see it happening again today with the shooting in the Jewish synagogue. Have you been watching that
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I didn't follow it all the way. I'm gonna assume by the guy's name that he was not a Muslim, that he was a, right
he is
wing.
one of the few actual like neo Nazis that we
Not
have.
okay.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
so right that he hates Trump for things like his Jewish, stepson,
Okay.
not stepson, son-in-law.
Son-in-law. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. They married into Jews. Of course, you have money in the United States, you marry into the Jews. Why not?
Yeah.
Mixed with some good genes there. So the actual Nazis that people claim Trump's followers are fucking hate him, man. They really
Hmm.
do. They really do.
I like the reason why I brought up the you guys hating each other thing. You were going to make the point about the posters that I saw in New York. So go ahead. This is the entire reason why I brought this up.
Well, I mean, I almost don't know what to say about that. If
Well, here I'll describe them, and then you can
yeah,
talk about them. So in one of the posters, it has a woman, white woman holding a Bible that has like the no symbol, like the round circle with the line through it, and then the other one it has your classic hillbilly that has the round circle and a no through it, and then it says "Keep trash out of New York."
yep. I'm gonna actually add source, screen capture, window capture. Boop. So we actually see them here.
Hmm.
Um,
So, and for me, like I look at that and I think to myself, well, no wonder why you guys hate each other. If I was a Southerner,
yeah,
and I may not even be a Trump supporting racist, but I'm still gonna look like that guy because that's the culture, right? Like I'm still gonna fucking swill beer and fucking play the banjo and wear fucking cut off shirts and whatever else because that's my fucking Southern culture.
yep.
And then when I see signs like that, I'm like, that's truly divided. And then there was an American in that thread that I saw that and say like, I would pay $100 a month to have that put up in my town. And I said to him,
To fuck with the backwater,
to
like the backwater religious
backwards
people. Yeah,
Jesus lover,
yeah.
right? And I'm a strong atheist, but I said to him, I said like, no wonder why you guys are divided. This hate that's throwing back and forth between the two sides is insane. Like I understand that there's real differences and that there's a history there and that there are problems, there's issues, but I mean to hate each other, I just don't see it here. And we do have differences between the provinces, and like I make cracks about the French people all the time, and I don't like some of their policies, and I may not like the province in general, but that doesn't mean that I hate all the people and that I think they're trash and I don't want them in my country. And if an outsider came in and was verbally insulting one of my French Canadian brothers and sisters, I would stick up for them as I would Americans, as I do here.
Of course you would. No, you worked with a French Canadian guy all
Yeah.
like last summer, I want to say,
Worked with him.
for like a month or two. You worked with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you made some jokes and things, but you didn't say, "Hey, trash, get out of my fucking city." And here's the thing, man. Think of some of the crazy things that the Republican side says and does openly. You don't really see a mass acceptance of this type of thing. Can you imagine the stink that would go up if right now in Mexico they started putting up pictures of migrants with this exact same message? Keep Texas trash free, like picture of a migrant crossing the border with a circle and X, water on his back, just to really get the joke out there. Because by the way, one of these, like the Bible in her hand, like. The majority of the country is Christian.
Yeah.
Like that's so crazy. That's so crazy to me. Like,
Yeah.
And Trump supporters in New York City are a political minority. Let's be very, very fucking honest, man. And they act like they care about minorities, and they act like they care about people being treated fair. But if they think this leads to any sort of fair treatment or like this encourages an open hatred towards this type of person.
I don't know why it's okay
Dirty, man.
I don't know why they don't think it's okay. Like, I know why it's not okay for the actual racists in the South to talk about black people and Mexicans the way that they do and act like. But I don't know why they think it's okay in turn for them to treat the white Southerners the same way that the white Southerners treat black people. But that's fine.
It's largely not true is the thing. Like, I can count on my hand like the truly racist people I've met, and in 30 years in the southeast of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
one of them being your in-laws.
Yeah. Well, I like to live dangerously, Dave.
Okay.
You know what? Like, it's that's true.
But okay. So you may not have met them, but they're there.
Yes. Yes,
obviously they're there.
Yes, they are there. Yes, they are there.
Okay, but let's not pretend.
But what I'm saying is they are a small minority.
Okay.
Of backward thinking people.
Yeah.
That we have.
Okay.
And we are ashamed of them.
Okay, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because I've never been there. So I'm not going to be one of these people that claim to know everything that goes on in the southern United States and act like the people there are all stupid and racist.
Right. And of course, a big thing here is how you define, to being racist. Like, like I'll pop off a joke. I don't think that's racist. Because
no, I mean like actual hate.
Like, yes, actual hate is not so common, man. It's really not.
Okay, but this is actual hate. These posters are hate.
That's
like this is
my
fucking.
Point. That is my point. They are hating all of us for a minority. Actors, a true minority of actors.
So let me ask you this. And people are going to go fucking wild over me saying this. And, it's not my culture. And we never had signs up like this. But how is it any different than the no blacks allowed?
It's not. It's no different than the old signs in California, like Japs keep moving. This is an American.
Yeah. Or no dogs, no Irish.
Yes. It's the exact same thing. Yeah,
but you're talking about your own damn countrymen. That's the thing. Like,
well, I mean, if you want to be technical, the blacks, the Japs, or our countrymen as well.
No, that's what I mean. Like, you're talking about your own countrymen.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I mean by America has, as we balkanize more. As there are more and more languages and more cultures. There's like classically 11 or 12 cultures. I don't exactly remember in the United States, but that's going to grow now as we have more and more migration. It's going to destabilize. Mm-hmm. It absolutely will. But
the barbarians are at the gate, my friend.
They are.
The fall of Rome is coming.
And here we are at a beautiful segue. I feel like into the next segment, man. You want to take a short break or anything?
Yeah, I gotta take a
I'm gonna fill up my cup of water here. Let's head over and we'll play some of Jason's music.
Right on.
All right. See you in a couple minutes.
Alrighty.
Welcome back, Dave.
Welcome back, Dustin.
Oh shit, I cannot hear you.
Excuse me. You can't hear me?
Hold on. I think it's me here. Ah, there you are.
You can hear me now? Okay.
Yep. I had a little problem with my cord. Decided to get some beer, Dave. I found this brewery like
Okay.
a mile from my house.
Yeah.
That has a little backroom bar that you
Okay.
can go chill out in. Man, they got like some old video game systems and old record collection. You can like pick records and they're spin them for you. And you can get growlers to go if you want. This is a 9% porter. It's
Holy
fucking
fuck.
delicious, man. They call it the downtown North Porter because there's Northport's a town like next town over.
Okay. Yeah.
Clever little hipster name there. But yeah, dude, it's delicious. It is fucking delicious. $18 for a growler, which is like a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Put you on your
Sweet.
ass. And delicious. Nice, dark, almost chocolatey flavor. It's very nice. Anyway.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Probably like 12,000 calories in one beer, though.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, my dad drank a growler of this almost by himself and passed out at the picnic tables outside my apartment.
Well, he's used to drinking Blue Ribbon, right?
Yeah. Look, I told him what he was getting himself into, man. I gave him the full,
Well, you
full
see,
spill.
the funny thing about Blue Ribbon here is it's a hipster beer.
Yeah, I know that was fun. Okay, so this is kind of a hipster hangout too,
Okay,
So
yeah.
me and Carly hang out there somewhat.
Because you're the hipster fucking hillbilly.
I do the open mic night. They sometimes there.
Oh, they have an open mic night.
Yeah. On Sundays. That's how I found them. Like I'm not going somewhere just to sit and drink. Hardly ever, but I'll go and do something.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I went there one night, and like the first time we went, and my dad was in town, and I told Carly like my dad would walk in here and he'd fill the room, like everything would be about him, and everyone would know he was there. And he came the next day, and that's exactly how it was. And then as soon as he started to like breach the subject of politics in this hipster bar, like I had to grab him and take him out the fucking door, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I knew what was coming. He was man, starting to argue with these college kids.
Yeah.
I had to take him out of there. It was fun.
Oh, well, what can you do?
Anyway,
Bad.
I have some footage here of the migrant crisis. You wanna
Sure.
go watch with me? I'm gonna turn it
Sure.
down first. I don't wanna.
Is it a crisis yet? Would you call it a crisis? It's a crisis for Mexico right now. Right?
You know what? I use the word crisis because to me, like this, I see this as a continuation of a larger picture of what's going on in every first world country.
Yeah.
All of Europe, they're having this trouble, and they tried Australia, and Australia sank the fucking boats and sent the people home.
Put them in jails indefinitely
or give them a life
on little
prison.
on little islands that don't even belong to Australia, like Tasmania and Papua New Guinea and shit. They send them there.
Yeah,
It's
man.
and a while back. I know I'm dragging this out, but a while back I was having a debate about it online with an Aussie, and he was you remember the separation stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's like going after you guys about that, and I said it's pretty funny of an Aussie looking down his nose at an American on border separations and immigrations, and he's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, you guys fucking locked them up in jail and then raped them." There's been so many sexual abuse charges from the Australian guards in those jails, and also adult refugees raping younger children and all kinds of abuses and stuff. And you lock them in jail forever. There's no court or anything. It's not like here where you get separated and then eventually you get out. Like in Canada, actually, they keep them locked up longer than you guys do. There's still people. There's one fella that's been in jail here because they can't figure out where he's from for 7 years in an immigration prison. So,
Yeah, I have some Australian people on my Facebook. I'm surprised they're not more divided than we are. Like maybe I'm their right wing people seem to be fucking very red pilled. Very, very fucking red pilled. And their left wing
Yeah,
people tend to be very fucking left wing to me, more so than
yeah,
here in the United States. Like some of the most red pilled motherfuckers on my Facebook are Australian dudes.
yeah.
So I'm really shocked. I'm really that they don't have more problems over there. But they are really hypocritical about it. Like you are surrounded by a goddamned ocean. Okay, you subjugated the Aboriginal people, you genocided them, you took their fucking children, and you're still fucking extremely cruel to them to this fucking day. Don't give me shit.
You know what?
Don't give me shit.
Australia is basically Canada but warm.
Mm-hmm.
Is basically what it is. So the culture is more reserved than yours. That's why you don't see the same conflict. It's more reserved, and
I can see that.
we come from the British stock, and we tend to be like Commonwealth countries that are like directly born from Britain. The people tend to be more patriotic about the people. So like they may be ideologically divided, but they're all Australian. Do you know what I mean? Like
Fair enough, man. And
that's my view of it. I could be wrong, but
that's the way I see Americans myself. You know
from
what?
the outside looking in, it doesn't look that way,
man?
though, man.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna take that back because the only thing that really the only insult you can really throw my way is to confuse me with the northeastern seaboard.
So to call you a Yankee and you're gonna get mad, and that's your own countryman.
That is, yeah, man. But like, it's the way, like, it's the way they treat us, though, and
But you treat each other.
We treat each other that way now, and I get that it's this cycle, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, man. If we drop it, they won't. It's.
But if they drop it, will you?
If they drop it,
because your dad won't.
No, you're right. My dad won't. I would love to. I really would love to. It's that you have no idea how often I'm called I'm just disregarded as a redneck. Oh, you're just a dude from Alabama. I get that shit so much, man. It's really ludicrous. Never do I say, I see you're from California, I should disregard you as a person. But I get that shit a lot, man. More than I ever get it over my race, I get it for being from the South and not being ashamed of it. Now, if I were to castrate myself before them, then I can be one of these
sacrifice yourself to the altar of the progressive liberal East.
Exactly, and you actually see. I'm thinking of like particularly atheist podcasts and stuff that are set out of the South. Names aren't coming to mind, but anyway, they rail on the South the fucking most, man. It's like the Jews that became Nazis were like the Naziest Nazis. It's that type of thing. I don't know. We're getting way off. Migrants coming up from the fucking South. I have some food.
Okay, this is gonna sound super harsh of me. Okay. So before we get into it, I just want to say that calling it a caravan is it's done on purpose, and it's a very light way of calling people that are smashing through borders a horde of people that are smashing through borders. That's basically what they've done. Yes. Now, I'm not saying that they're not desperate people, and I'm not saying that anything like that. What I'm saying is they should have applied from within their own country to, like, I think you guys let in 1.3 million people a year or something crazy like that. So, I mean, like to just think you can do whatever you want when there's laws set forth and international agreements, right? Like, let's not just, like, somebody posted the American policy once you're within the United States, but what they're neglecting is that there's policies and treaties in place internationally, and the way that asylum seekers, immigrants, refugees, and intended countries are supposed to behave. Because like the 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 first agreement that was signed in 56 for the refugees people, which is the Geneva Convention, that was after World War II, and that was to deal with the the crisis of refugees during wartime. Well, the one that I'm referencing, like, was originally signed by most countries in the 80s, and then the United States signed on in 93, which is the Hague Agreement, deals specifically with child. So they wanted to deal with the crisis of asylum seekers through the lens of children that were being abducted and then taken 6 countries over, and then people applying for asylum in those countries, taking those children with them, and then nobody knowing what the fuck happened to these kids. So what you're supposed to do is, if you leave an unsafe country or you feel like you're in an unsafe country, you're supposed to leave that country, and as soon as you land in a safe country, you're then supposed to apply for asylum there.
Right.
Now, those countries that have signed on to this agreement, which there are a shitload, including all those countries that they're leaving, like all those South American countries are signed into this 1993 agreement with the United States. So they're supposed to then take a look at their specific individual case, not at the country as a whole, but at the specific individual case, because, like, individuals can be oppressed or politically oppressed if they're gay and they live in certain countries. So if they refuse, then they can carry on to the next country, or they can, once they've landed in one of those countries, apply to go to another country. But then the third, let's call it like third country status, is not obligated to hear them out, because
Right.
the first country is the one that's obligated to hear them out. So that's why they're not applying for asylum in any of those countries, because they're just smashing through, and they want the United States or Canada to be the first country that they apply to. But how in the fuck did you get here? So the issue is in the United States, what you guys have done is that you've expedited. If somebody shows up at your border, you've expedited the asylum process, because normally the asylum process takes years. But if you show up at the American border, the Americans know that you've smashed through all these other borders to get there, so they've expedited the process, and you're turned over really fast, and you'll be sent back super quick if they decide that you're not an actual refugee. But if you get status, you get status, and that's why they jump the border and then apply, because they're not crossing at an official border, and then they're already in the U.S. or they're already in Canada. That's why you see them when they apply for status in the U.S. and the U.S. says no, and they don't get kicked out straight away. That's why they run for our border. They don't cross at an official crossing, because the agreement between the United States and Canada is, if you apply for asylum in either the U.S. or Canada, you then cannot go to an official border crossing and apply there, because we both know mutually that our countries are safe for asylum seekers. And that's why they're crossing into the bush, because it's a loophole, and it's also a loophole at the southern border to do the same thing. And that's the problem.
Yes, and since you started there, we're going to go ahead and read this article where Mexico.
Sorry for the rant.
That's fine. I was going to start the video and then move to the article, but we'll do it. We'll do it the other way. It does not matter, man. So the migrant caravan members were actually offered asylum in Mexico with benefits and everything.
So what's the problem?
And they rejected the offer. So we're going to get into it. Several thousand Central American migrants turned down a Mexican offer of benefits if they applied for refugee status and stayed in the country's 2 southernmost states, vowing to set out before dawn Saturday to continue the long trek towards the U.S. border. So they were offered to stay, and they denied it. The Mexican president, Enrique Pena Nieto, announced what he called the, quote, "you are at home" plan, offering shelter, medical attention, schooling, and jobs to Central Americans in Chiapas and Could states the two southern states, fellas, calling it a first step towards permanent refugee status. Authorities said more than 1,700 had already applied for refugee status. So 1,700.
Osieka. Osieka.
Osieka.
Yeah.
All right, man. Sure, why not? But after one of the caravan's longest days of walking and hanging from passing trucks, the bulk of the migrants were boisterous Friday evening in their refusal to accept anything less than safe passage to the U.S. border. So they're country shopping.
No, that's exactly what they're doing.
They're very blatantly country shopping. Thank you, they yelled as they voted to reject the offer. And a show, are you sure it wasn't gracias?
What do you mean voted?
Hold on. As they voted to reject the offer in a show of hands in the town of Aragia, that town. They then added, no, we're heading north. Sitting at the edge of town square, 58-year-old Oscar Sosa of San Pedro Sula, Honduras, concurred. Our goal is not to remain in Mexico, Sosa said. Our goal is to make it to the U.S. We want passage. That's all. Fuck you. You're in a perfectly safe country, in the most stable regions of that perfectly safe country.
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely, and you're offered jobs, Dave. Can you imagine? Like the gall of it all is still 1,000 miles from the nearest U.S. border crossing at McAllen, Texas. The journey could be twice as long if the group heads for the Tehuan-San Diego frontier, as another caravan did earlier this year. Only about 200 in that group made it to the border. See, and I don't mean to be all like, what the fuck with this? You're not going to cross 1,000 miles in 30 days in a large group carrying kids, Dave.
Well, the other thing is, I don't know. The thing is too is like, so we've seen the what's happened at the Mexico border when they arrived there, and how they crashed the gates. Do they actually think that they're going to
watch some of that footage in a minute?
Yeah. Do they actually? Well, I'll save this bit for then. Go ahead. Reading.
While such migrant caravans have taken place regularly over the years, passing largely unnoticed, they have received widespread attention this year after the fierce opposition from U.S. President Donald Trump. No, there has never, ever, ever been a caravan of people or a migration of people this large. Not since the 1900s, when we actually stationed the military on the border, like 1910, 1914, 1915. Mm-hmm. We had to station, like Mexico was in so much turmoil. There was a civil war going on. We call it the border war here in the United States. We set up our military on the border and we shoot anyone that crossed. And they tried to make several excursions into the United States.
It has to be the difference in the English. Like when they first started hearing about this, and they were saying Donald Trump was upset about caravans of Mexicans or South Americans, Central Americans, whatever. I was like, what's the big deal? A caravan that with like it's like 4 people, because it just to clarify in British colloquial English, a caravan is either what you guys call a minivan or a camper. It's what we go camping in caravans. So it's going to sleep like 3 people. So up until I actually saw the video of the thousands of people, which I then started calling an illegal horde smashing through borders. It's like Walking Dead.
No one's illegal, Dave. No, I completely agree.
They're not illegal. They're not illegal people. They're committing illegal acts.
Like me personally, when I hear the word caravan, what comes to mind is like traveling bands of traders. That's what they're not migrating. They go from place to place and do so. It's a group of people that travel together.
So you're thinking of gypsies, and there's like 20 of them in a group, or 100 of them in a group.
Yeah.
There's not fucking 5,000 smashing through sovereign country borders that have sovereign laws.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. So on Friday, the Pentagon approved a request for additional troops at the southern border, likely likely to total several hundreds, to help the U.S. Border Patrol as troops.
800. 800 is the
Excuse
number.
me. Several hundred. Okay, 800. Okay. Concerns about immigration and caravan into electoral gains in the November 6th midterms. And here's the thing, man. There are cities along the West Coast that are allowing, they're giving passes to undocumented migrants to be able to use within the city. And then that's also an ID that is good enough to be able to vote.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is insane. We rejected the safe city status in Canada.
Yeah, sanctuary cities should be illegal. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis signed off on requests for help from the Department of Homeland Security and authorizing military staff to work out details as the size, composition, and estimated cost of the deployments, according to a U.S. official who spoke on condition of anonymity. I hate that shit. To discuss planning that has not yet been publicly announced. Stoking fears about the caravan, like it's not like we're panicking. We think they're here to rape and murder exactly. It's to me this is a matter of this cannot be a thing. This cannot be a thing.
No, you can't. You can't. Like you can't accept this one because more will just come. Like
yes.
It has to. It like there is an immigration process to get into the United States. It's one of the fucking easiest ones. Like it's so much easier to immigrate to the United States than it is to immigrate to Canada. And everybody touts us as the fucking like, oh, come fucking Justin Trudeau's gonna suck your dick when you arrive. But I mean, like, it's a lot harder. We have like a strict point system, and the actual like people that decide who gets in and who doesn't isn't Justin Trudeau. Those are bureaucrats that decide that, not elected officials. So I mean, and our laws are already in place when it comes to that.
Do you want to check out some of this video? I put together 3 little clips here. All right,
fire it up. Oh, that's awful.
Migrants is one step closer to the Meanwhile, a caravan of migrants is one step closer to the United States after a chaotic confrontation at the Mexico-Guatemala border. Mexican police threw tear gas and smoke canisters to push back the crowd of thousands from the border gates. Some were able to enter Mexico as refugees, and many still remain at the border in Guatemala.
Of course, this is old. That's been smashed through, and they have moved on.
Majority of
yes,
the migrants
okay, but here, hang on. So they just said that they entered Mexico as refugees.
Yeah, I believe that is what they just
So that's
said.
the end of the story. They stay in Mexico.
Yeah, that was the point of that last article, is that Mexico offered them status. So by them turning it down, they're not.
No. They said clearly in the article that they entered Mexico. Some of them entered Mexico as refugees.
Yeah.
So that's it. They've applied in Mexico. Those specific cases.
Yes, those specific cases.
So they cannot then go to the United States and ask for asylum. They may, but the United States has no obligation whatsoever to let them in. Yeah, and I will say this: if you think for 1 second that you're going to march to the United States border, and I don't give a fuck if there's 15,000 of you, and you think you're going to smash through the fucking border, things are going to get ugly. They're gonna get ugly real fucking quick. It's not gonna happen.
That is gonna be ugly.
It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna go to the United States border and start rocking the fucking gate and bust their way through. And I don't want to see that. Like, I don't want that to happen to them at all.
I don't want to see that either, man.
Like that's gonna get ugly for you guys politically in on the world stage. It's gonna get ugly for those people individually because they're gonna get fucked up. It's gonna get ugly between the left and the right in the U.S. because you should have just let them through, and the right will say to them, but go fuck you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
they cannot do that. They need to back that fucking train up a little bit. Like if they get denied entry, they can't then just smash through the American border.
This is what I jokingly told Carly. Can you hear that car pulling up the window? Yeah.
No.
Okay,
no.
good. I jokingly told Carly that if I was military leader, if I was Trump in this case or whatever, I would try to sabotage them on the way and try to pin it like on the cartels. Like, I swear to God, I would stick people in the fucking heels and snipe assholes and disperse that fucking crowd. Like, not like, I know that you can't really do that in real life, and these are people, and that's horrible. But they're going to further destabilize my country, like you said, politically.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happens, if they're let in, it's going to piss off both. It's going to piss off the right. If they're not let in, it's going to piss off the fucking left, and we're going to further down this spiral that we've been talking about the whole episode. And like you said, internationally, we're not going to look good. No matter what we do here, we'll look weak throughout. The Asian parts of the countries, the ones we actually got to worry about. Hold the fuck on. Hold on. Sorry about that. What was I saying?
No worries. That is going to destabilize the countries and the Asian.
And okay. So our enemies will see us as weak if we let them in. Our allies will see us as cruel if we don't. So it's going to weaken us both domestically and internationally. It
has certainly made us look weak. Letting the ones cross the border in between border, like official border crossings, were the butt end of lots of jokes that we didn't used to be the butt end of, because, like, personally in Canada, I'm talking about now, like, our allies certainly and other countries certainly have seen us as weak. What I would do is I wouldn't snipe them. I would send American officials.
Of course not.
And I would tell. I know you're not being serious, but I'm going to be serious about what I would seriously do. I would send American immigration officials and probably some kind of minister. Or you guys call them ministers? What do you guys call them? The people in the cabinet, actually in the cabinet, in the Trump administration. You guys don't even call it a cabinet. In the administration, what would you call somebody?
That is his cabinet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be the immigration minister in the U.S., like the equivalent to that?
What's the equivalent to? Like I said, it's the. I mean, like, we have foreign ambassadors.
Okay, so I would send the foreign ambassador and a bunch of other people, and I would say, okay, we're here, and I would send a gang of people. We're here. You're not going any further. You guys can apply to us right now for asylum in the United States. We'll process your claim. If you go to the American border, you're denied. Yeah. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
So you can stay here in Mexico right now and take their offer, and you can still apply. You can still. We're going to grant you this. We'll grant you the ability to apply for asylum, and if your officials deem that they actually are persecuted or whatever the case may be that they're claiming, then it's up to you guys at that point to let them in. But there's ways of stopping them from actually getting there. But you cannot let them get to the border. If they get to the border, this is going to be a fucking mess.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Of course, that was my whole statement I was making before. No, and I guess I'm kind of petering out here on things to say. So let's get back to the video.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Back to the video.
They're heading for what they believe will be a better life in the U.S. But as Ellen Morrow tells us, crossing that border could be an even bigger challenge.
That could be, Dave.
What do you mean
An
could be?
arduous march, thousands weaving their way through Central America, their eyes on the American dream. God willing, the U.S. president will let us in, says this woman from Honduras. That is our proposal. But that won't happen. Without any proof, the president described the migrants like this.
Many of those people, a percentage, a big, fairly big percentage of those people are criminals. And they want to come into our country.
Also without
Well, here, in fairness, they're actually all.
Yes, what they just did.
Yeah, they attacked a sovereign country, but that doesn't mean that they're criminals outside of that. Like, what he means is that they're coming to the United States to fucking to do crime, sell drugs, rape, plunder, whatever. But in fairness to his claim, 100%, except for the children that are not of age to be of sound body and mind, have broken the law, making them criminals. And actually, like, if think about this, just say you and I from the United States of America and from Canada decided, hey, we want to go to fucking. It's not beside us because we're away from it, but just say we're like, we want to go to Spain for a vacation. And we just like smash through the border. We have attacked another country. That's a sovereign country with fucking rules.
Yes, and the way that woman put it, like, let us in, please. That's our proposal. No, no, your proposal is we're going to smash in.
proof, Trump blamed the Democrats for the caravan.
We are about law
This isn't right
and
either.
order and borders
Hold on.
and jobs. And they are about allowing crime to enter our country with open borders.
For the president,
I don't like his the way he put that, but I do absolutely blame the Democrats for this because they have this whole like come ye all bullshit that they put out. The one thing that I do like about the wall, and frankly, a better wall would actually be quite a benefit in this particular situation.
Okay, but here's I'm gonna push you on
and
this.
to the metaphor. The metaphor is the
yeah.
big thing of building a better border structure, which we've been building and adding to our border structure for decades now. Go on.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna push you on the Democrats being the come one, come all. Your country is the come one, come all. It's the fucking send us you're hungry, you're tired, you're weak. Okay, this is the message. This is the message that has been sent out for a long time. Times have changed, and now you need to apply properly. I don't see any Democrat that has been like to the messages sent to the fucking southern fucking countries, smash through Mexico and come to our border.
No, they've clearly not said smash through Mexico and come to the borders, but they do say things like, no borders. It's a human right to be in the United States. They blame us.
The
for
majority.
The
majority of Democrats say that?
Do the majority of Democrats? I'll say the most vocal Democrats, the leadership of the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton.
Really?
In close
said
speeches.
No borders?
Yeah. Hillary
The
Clinton.
hawk. Hillary the hawk.
In 2013, it came out through WikiLeaks, and speeches, the speeches that she wouldn't release, that was released by WikiLeaks, she openly advocated for open borders, for a larger working class United States, for better wages for the corporations, right? Which is the people she's giving the speech to. So no, man, I'm gonna. Okay, so where are the Democrats condemning this? Where like within the party, I can maybe see where there hasn't been an all-out call by a majority of Democrats.
That's what I mean.
There have
That's
been
what I
people
mean.
in their leadership though, like Maxine Waters has been very like come one, come all, but because that's their voting base too, man. Like if they come and they're naturalized, these people overwhelmingly vote Democrat for the first 10 years. Hispanics, while they're in the United States, second generation they tend to be more conservative. They also start identifying as white on censuses, second and third generation. Point is, they don't mind. They're for it, and we should be we should be unified as a country right now, saying you cannot do this way, and we're not, and that is their fault. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my point. That's my point on that. Let's go back to the video.
It's about riling up his base before the midterms, less than 3 weeks away, and he's not alone.
Now, the Democrats taking the House will ensure that this caravan of 4,000 eventually becomes a flow of 4 million.
Fox News, Trump's network of choice.
That's a bit hyperbolic, but if this comes in and these guys don't have any problems, there will be another one and another one and another one, and 4 million is a large number. But
I'm telling you, they can't do this at the American border. It's not going to end well.
Agreed.
I'm 41 years old. I've been beside the United States my entire life. I'm politically knowledgeable somewhat. It's not going to end well.
No, it's not.
It's insane. It's insane. Wow.
Is also stoking fear.
This cannot happen.
The president continues to fearmonger around the issue of immigration.
Eager for their own gains in November, Democrats too are
He
turning
does,
to
though.
immigration.
Unfortunately, he hasn't shown.
Yeah,
that
but
he
I
has
agree
any real
with I agree
solutions,
with what he's doing, just not the
to
way he's going
challenge
about
of
it.
immigration. I believe that we
Like,
can
not his
have
rhetoric.
effective border security and enforcement, and also treat people humanely.
The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Trump has 4 midterm campaign rallies in the next 5 days. It's almost certain his anti-immigration rhetoric will only get louder as Americans prepare to vote.
This is just some footage that Washington Post put out, like 30 seconds.
All right.
Have you seen the footage?
Washington Post. I can't even trust that this is real footage. I'm just kidding. After the article I read this morning, you're like, holy fuck.
What did you read by the Washington Post this morning?
The don't call Trump Hitler or belittles Hitler is the Washington Post.
Did you actually read the article? I didn't.
I did. It was bad.
Okay, so it wasn't saying that Trump is actually fairly incompetent and Hitler was actually a scary figure to worry about.
No, it was saying that Hitler was mentally unstable and that's why he was fucked up. Trump is just a con man, so like he's fucked up and he doesn't have an excuse.
Wow.
Yeah.
4.833 kilómetros de frontera norte. Es la caravana más grande en la historia de la caravana. Es la caravana que por
That is one
But
giant
it sucks
camper.
that it sucks that people feel that not that they feel that they have to do this. It sucks that people have to do this. I'm going to admit that it sucks, man. It really does.
Look,
Like-
I really feel a lot of sympathy for these people. I do. But this is not good for them any more than it's good for us. Because if these are good, honest, hardworking people, let's say this is their best and their brightest, don't they need 10,000 hardworking, bright people in Mexico and Honduras and Guatemala?
Yeah.
And of course all the problems we were talking about before. So, I really wish that they would get their shit together. Is what I.
So the Venezuelans are probably getting in though, just to let you know.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Look, man, I've seen projections of this blowing up to 10,000, 15,000. So like, let's see what gets here, and who's with them, man. And here's saying, if you're any kind of enemy of the United States, wouldn't you try to get in this?
Yes.
No que alguien, digamos, en frontera sur trabaje estrategias sobre.
Why is he wearing his flat? I'm confused.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
I'm confused.
Ellos solos decidieron salir desde su país, desde
I'm not born a Canadian.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yes.
I graduate, yeah, I know how to speak English. Yeah, I've been there. You know, I have a lot of opportunities over the other side, and I got a lot of family that's waiting for me, and I hope that to be there with them.
Okay, so you've already been deported.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, man. No.
But I think that I can go ahead and make it. You know, there's good people in the United States. There's a lot of good people, and that people will help us. That people who will be our hope. Basically, what we want is only have a better opportunity, have a job. You know, I had a dream. We all have a dream.
Can you pause pause right there. All we want is a better opportunity to have a job. This is not somebody that's escaping political violence, oppression, hatred, all that stuff. He is an economic migrant.
Yes.
You cannot fucking smash through borders if you're an economic migrant. You just can't, man. I'm sorry that you were born in the shit spot. We were born in the good spot. You know, like this wasn't always the good spot. Our governments in tandem have made good fucking solid choices, and we became the spots to go to. It's not our. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
No, that's very fair. These were not the spots to be, and our people made them the spots to be. Our government and our citizens, and you know, everyone's decisions that they make as individuals make a country what it is.
Yeah.
Doubly so in a representative republic as we have, and man,
it sucks. So it like all around it sucks, man.
It does really suck. But,
you know, it would be awesome though if they were like. They stopped where they were, and officials came and they processed them outside of the country so that the border shit didn't happen. It's like, you know how like the issue for us now isn't the denied asylum seeker anymore that's crossing the border. What's the problem for us now is that because other countries witnessed what happened when the denied asylum seekers crossed in between border crossings. So we had like Nigerians flying to New York and then hopping in a cab right from the airport and heading to I forget the name of the road, and then crossing into Canada from there.
Wow.
Even the cucky McCuckster sent the immigration minister to Nigeria to tell them, you can't do that. You have to stop. It doesn't mean you get in automatically. You're just clogging shit up, and you're probably going to get sent home.
Yep.
So I think what you guys should do is send some officials to go and be like, hey, man.
Yep. And back to what I was saying before, I really get sort of ill when people compare our ancestors that came here and tamed the land and made it the spot to be, to people that now want to move to the spot to be. It is not the same thing. No offense, Dave. I get that you're a patriot and thing, man.
Yeah.
You know, and you love your country, but you are an immigrant and not, in a different way than the people who immigrated to a fucking frozen wasteland.
No, of course.
And made a Canada.
I often, when the first cold starts to come.
Yes.
I often think about what it was like for not just for the first settlers, but for the native people. I often think about that. I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that I do often think about that. Like, holy fuck, you know, they couldn't have predicted how cold it was going to be. Like one day it could be minus 15, the next could be minus 45. There's no predicting that. You don't have a fucking heater in your. You just, man, it must have sucked. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, man. You build a fire and you do your fucking best. No, I think it's the same thing here with the heat and the fucking insects
And the bugs, yeah.
and the wildlife too, man. We got cougars and shit out here.
Yeah, us too.
Bobcats and
Yeah,
whatnot.
us too. Bobcats too.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. Look, I'm sure everything that we have, you have.
Yes.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah. No, we don't have alligators.
We don't have. I don't know that we have alligators in Alabama, but Florida, Georgia, you get some southern parts of Georgia, the swampy parts of Georgia.
You don't have any in Alabama? I thought for sure you would have alligators in
There's
Alabama.
not literally swamp in Alabama, man. Like maybe down towards Mobile, you might find some on the but
You're more like evergreens, like up here, I guess, eh? Like evergreens, maple, all that kind of stuff.
we're forest, dude.
Yeah, well, that's what evergreen and maple and poplar.
Yeah, I mean we have a
Sorry,
lot of the
that's
same trees.
yeah.
I don't know what a poplar is. I've heard of a poplar.
Well, that's a hardwood.
Okay.
That's the carpenter coming down.
Okay. Back to the video. Let's wrap this up.
Going after that.
Espérense a que se suban y ya se van otra vez. Les vamos a proteger el paso. ¿Ok? Libro paso.
Wait, they're getting on the buses.
Whose buses?
See, at the very beginning of this, they remarked how this is the biggest caravan or migration of this sort without being organized by NGOs. But someone is organizing this, Dave. Someone is bringing them food.
What buses?
They're getting on buses.
I want to know what the fucking buses are. Who's sending the buses? Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
we're going to protect the route. Well, Mexico's obviously fucking
helping them through.
Helping them get. Oh, this is not good, dude. I don't know, man. Actually, you know what? Oh no, okay. I was gonna say I don't actually know if it's Mexico, but when he turned there, now I do know that it's Mexico.
Yep.
You know what, man? Those Mexicans, they fucked us in the negotiations, right? So like last February when Trump was like, "Hey Canada, let's just you and I make a fucking deal," and then Mexico was like, "Canada, please don't leave us," blah blah blah. And then we were like, "Okay, Mexico, we won't leave you." And then the first chance they got, they went and made a deal behind our back.
Yep.
What makes you think they're not fucking you right now?
They are. Look, here's the thing, man. Their fucking president, if you remember, said that he believes it's human rights for anyone to go to America. So fucking course his government's helping them come.
Yeah. That's gonna backfire.
Just give us a few minutes to board our people. No more.
Yeah, that's gonna backfire on Mexico.
The ones that didn't bring their children, like me, have their hearts broken because they're still in Honduras.
Oh, you know, I could never leave.
I did it with hopes that the President of the United States, that is our neighbor. You are not our neighbor. Gives us a chance to work and give our children a better future. That is the same thing being repeated. And that if we're running away, it's not because we're criminals, but because we do not want to suffer anymore. Ah, shit, I lost that. And we're almost, I can find it. Suffer anymore. That's the end. Any final thoughts, Dave?
I don't know. I think I've said a bunch of shit, but I feel bad for the kids, man. If they do actually make it to the border, and people are gonna squawk about this, but man, let the kids in, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to say because I humanitarian wise, I feel bad for these people.
Okay. Every single one of these kids, as they come in, and this is terrible, Dave, if they come in, we have to take them and separate them from the adults that they're with. Okay?
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm
Yes.
saying it's terrible.
Have to. And just for anyone listening, the reason is that human trafficking is a thing. Human trafficking through the border, like sex trafficking, is a very large thing. Children are kidnapped, brought to the United States, and sold.
Well, that's why I was saying about the Hague. That was the purpose of the Hague Agreement, so that you can't go 5 countries over and claim asylum. You need to do it the one beside you, so that at least it's better controlled, right? You know what I mean?
Yes, because you like as we can transport ourselves around the world easier and easier, people cannot just go to where things are the nicest. I'm sorry, it'll ruin that spot.
Mm-hmm.
And back.
Well, they're doing it in Europe too. They're doing, and like when we were talking about the migration crisis last winter in Europe, and we were talking about the German chancellor and all that, and I was like, and like I can remember saying like, we don't need to worry about that. We live on an island oasis, and I completely forgot about southern and central.
You sure did.
Because I didn't think of those, because they're not leaving the same thing that Syrians are leaving, right?
Not
like
even
it's
close.
it's not the same. That's why I didn't think of it like that. Like I knew that they didn't have the same they could, like Venezuela's super oil rich, but they have a corrupt government, communist corrupt government, and that squandered it away, and now the people are are starving. You know what I mean? Like,
and I would let Venezuelans in en masse as long as they can prove that they were never affiliated with the Communist Party in Venezuela.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Anyway, man, I think I'm about done here. You got anything to add before I shut her down? All right, let's roll into the outro, man.
All right.